Some of the most anticipated characters for MultiVersus are anime characters. This conversation has gotten a lot more attention lately after Tony confirmed that the team is hard at work to get anime characters inside the game. Of course, you guys already know that I love speculating about which characters we could see inside the game, so today we're going to go over some anime characters that I think would be great to see inside of MultiVersus. Before we get into a lot of these characters, I want to give an honorable mention to literally any Studio Ghibli character. Studio Ghibli has a gigantic presence on HBO Max, and the only reason I didn't include any on this list is due to how hard it was to pick just one or two. Do we go with Haku, No Face, Princess Mononoke, Howl, Totoro, Ponyo, or one of the many other beloved characters from the studio? I'd be happy with any of them, although I am extremely biased for Princess Mononoke. Getting into the actual picks, Warner Bros. Japan actually produces quite a bit of anime, and some of those shows just happen to be some of the most popular in the entire medium. For example, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I can't think of anybody better to rep JoJo's than Jotaro Kujo. You know why Jotaro? He has the best drip, and he's the most iconic of all the protagonists. If we were to get an anime character in MultiVersus, I have a feeling we'll be seeing Jotaro first. Although I am a liar, just like the actual best JoJo's rep, Dio Brando. Dio is that guy. He's the only reason there is to watch the first season at all, and he's probably the most iconic anime villain of all time. If not number one, he's certainly in the top 5. I want to play as this absolute rat bastard so badly, he's just so damn cool. Dio's one of the few characters on this list that I would actually play, or maybe even main depending on how fun their moveset is. And you know who another one of those characters are? Soma Yukihira from Food Wars. This is another one of the shows that Warner Bros. Japan produces, and I think it'd be extremely interesting to see a chef moveset inside of the game. I love how Velma plays so much, and if they could be that creative for Soma, he would easily be one of my most played characters. Warner Bros. Japan honestly has access to some pretty sick characters, man. Although the sickest character from a Warner Bros. Japan produced anime is Mob from Mob Psycho. I kind of just think that this is outright the best show that Warner Bros. Japan produces, and Mob is such a lovable dude. I know characters like Eleven and Raven have been found in the files, and I think they'd be a great fit for a duo with Mob. This character has a ton of potential for the game. There's also a ton of potential for Mikasa Ackerman. I know a lot of you guys would want Eren as a big body in MultiVersus, but I went with Mikasa because, well, I already talked about Eren in my big body video. Mikasa could still be sick though. I mean, she'd basically be Spider-Man with 2 swords with the way she moves around. I love characters with unique movement, and I feel like it'd be hard to top a Scout from Attack on Titan in that department. I do want to mention one of the most iconic and important characters from anime and manga of all time, and that's Guts from Berserk. The Berserk manga has been a staple since 1990, and it's impossible to deny the impact it's had on pop culture. In a game with pop culture icons like Batman, I think it'd be nice to bring in Guts. He's also a big dude with a big sword, and that's easily one of my favorite character archetypes, I cannot lie. Honestly, I think I kinda just love sword characters in general, and that definitely applies to Tanjiro. Demon Slayer is one of the dopest shonen shows in the last 10 years, and I'd love to see his gorgeous sword moves in MultiVersus. Seriously, Demon Slayer looks incredible, and a lot of people dig this show. If MultiVersus wanted to build up some hype for the game, it's hard to do better than Tanjiro. I mean, just his inclusion in a mobile game got millions of views. If you want a modern shonen rep, there's not many better picks than Tanjiro. Deku is another one of those recent shonen characters that would bring in a lot of hype for MultiVersus. My Hero helped usher in a new generation of shonen anime, and I think it'd be cool to see Deku in MultiVersus. I mean, I'm more of a Mirio guy myself, and I'm the leader of the Mirio fan club, but I'd accept Deku graciously if he did get into the game. With that said, there's no anime I'm a bigger fan of than Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. This is my favorite anime of all time, and there's no better game for Edward and Alphonse Elric to show up in than MultiVersus. This is a game built around 2v2s, and can you name one better anime duo than Edward and Alphonse? Sure, whatever, Goku and Vegeta or Naruto and Sasuke are dope, but those pairs aren't composed of brothers who have an unbreakable bond and have an ungodly amount of shared trauma. It should be obvious that I'm pretty biased for these guys, but come on, how could you say no to the Elric brothers? And how could you say no to Gojo? There's no shonen character from the last 15 years that's even half as cool as Gojo. This dude has no right to be as badass as he is, and he even got a movie over the main character of Jujutsu Kaisen. That's how you know this guy is some big cheese. I would spend an unholy amount of money on every single cosmetic item they drop for this dude. I mean, just look at him. Look at him! He's been in my life for only a few years, and I would already die for this man. Whew, getting back on track, I also think Sailor Moon would be a great inclusion. There's no bigger female icon in anime than Sailor Moon, and honestly, she's just one of the most popular female characters in all of fiction. Everyone knows who Sailor Moon is, and there are very few characters that can outmatch her star power. Also, I'd love to see other sailors or Tuxedo Mask as taunts or ring out effects. Saitama would be pretty sick too. I know a lot of people think this character would never work in a fighting game, but I've made a character concept that Tony the Big Man himself liked. I'd really recommend watching that if you have any doubts about Saitama, but let's be real here, he makes so much sense for MultiVersus. With this game being so heavily influenced by memes, there are very few characters that make more sense than Saitama. Shaggy and Superman being on the same roster as Saitama would be so freaking cool, and I really think he's my most wanted anime character. These next few characters may not be my most wanted, but you definitely know who they are. I'm still going to go through them one by one, and let's get started with Monkey D. Luffy. One Piece is one of the best-selling manga/comic books of all time, and I think there's a legitimate argument for Luffy to be the most important character to be added. I'd love to see him be a duo partner with characters like Jake the Dog, and honestly the anime may very well outlive MultiVersus, and that is saying a lot. This next character is my personal GOAT of the big three, and that's Naruto. If you didn't grow up on Naruto, you're too young. That's it. Everyone I know has been shaped by this show in some way, shape, or form, and a ton of those people are also going to be playing MultiVersus. I just want to shout, "Believe it!" at the top of my lungs after absolutely dunking on Finn the Human. He's also in Fortnite, so all MultiVersus has to do to get a hold of Naruto is be a billion-dollar game in one of the most important games in modern pop culture. No big deal. Finally, let's talk about Goku. Goku for Smash is maybe the biggest meme in that entire community, so much so that Sakurai has acknowledged the want for Goku in the game. If MultiVersus could somehow get a hold of Goku, the game could skyrocket in popularity. If any single character could make MultiVersus a popular game, this is the one. Can you imagine the electricity fans would feel if a trailer dropped where Goku and Saitama were fighting against Superman and Shaggy? Also, can you name a better game for Goku to be in than one where he could fight Superman? That was the main talking point between nerds on the internet for like 10 years. He's really just the perfect choice. That just about does it for anime characters in this video. Let me know if you'd like to see a part 2, since there are actually so many anime characters I couldn't get to. Zoro, Sasuke, and Vegeta barely missed the roster on this video, and honestly, if that's something you'd like to see, you may as well subscribe while you're at it. I mean, how else would you get the notification when I eventually upload the video? Thank you guys for watching this far, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll smell you guys later.